Hey, this is Omar, and just on here, real quick, talking about a few of the Eagles' additions that they made this past week. Um, they added two defensive tackles, uh, Joseph and Sue, to kind of shore up that defensive line, and both been solid. Like I said, I like the addition at the trade deadline of Robert Quinn as well. And so they gonna have a nice rotational pick, or not rotational, lines and formations that they're gonna be able to use. You know what I'm saying, going into the playoffs, and they seeing because they're gonna have an issue stopping the run as they showed on Monday versus the Commanders. And so they know they need to show up that up front. You feel me? Jordan Davis, going down on injury is kind of put a big ass hole in their line. So, the addition of Joseph, somebody that's gonna clog up the line, as well as Sue. The difference between, you know, even Quinn, the addition of Quinn, I still think Sue, if properly motivated, he definitely can, cause a lot of issues in most defenses. I mean, hell, most of the time he was playing defense, he was freelancing and he's kind of doing his own thing, and that's kind of what made him like be a head scratcher for some DCs, because you kind of gotta you know do what the defensive coordinator wants you to do. But I mean, he's so gifted that he's able to freelance and kind of still make plays. The past two seasons with Tampa Bay, 20 and 21, he was able to get 6 sacks. And not only that, let me see. Yeah, not only that, he had let me see. And I ain't even put this. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, yeah. In 20, he had 44 tackles, and last year he had 27 tackles. But he had on 20 he had 9 TFLs, and last year he had 7 TFL. 19 2020 he had 19 QB hits, and last year he had 13 QB hits, and that's kind of how he's been on par since his 2012 campaign, where he had 32 QB hits. So he's kind of, I mean, ever since he was kind of getting them penalties, he kind of toned it down, because he was, probably playing a little bit over the edge. But he's consistently been hitting the quarterback, and that's what you want as far as your D tackle. And sometimes he played on the edge, where you just want to make them speed up the quarterback, make them go ahead and rush the guy. You feel me? So even if he ain't getting the sacks, you want a guy that's getting some QB hits, because you know what I'm saying, he getting to the dude, and every each time you hitting him, that's like taking a toll on the guy, even though you ain't getting the sacks. You know what I'm saying? It's still affecting the game. Like, you want to see your D line hitting, hitting the other quarterback. You feel me? Like, that's them doing their job. So Joseph, he played with the Chargers last year. I mean, he had a solid year, but he's always done his job. Don't expect him to get a ton of sacks, but he just did to clog the lineup, to where all the D ends can rush to the ball, and then the Mike backer, the wheel backer, the sandback, everybody can just fly to the ball. You know what I'm saying? So Joseph is going to do his job regardless on the defense that he playing, and Sue is definitely going to do his job. So both of them, you actually do that both this week. That's gonna be solid. Like I said, rotational guys. So they're gonna have a nice blend. I mean, you still got Fletcher Cox and you still got Graham. So they got some vets, like it's vet laden as far as on that D line and whatnot. So it's gonna be interesting just to see how they gonna incorporate them and rotate them. See who get how many, certain amount of plays, per week, going forward. But it was definitely a nice addition, and it don't hurt. You feel me? Like, if you see that you know, past few weeks you've been run on, and you kind of need to get the ball back in Jalen Hurts' hands. So you just throw a flyer and say, all right, I'm gonna sign a couple of these D tackles just to see what they do. But I'm more confident that Sue probably make more impact plays than Joseph. Joseph impact he gonna do it, but it might not be seen unless to them boys that do that, analytical shit. But he ain't really gonna get a ton of sacks. But Sue's more likely to get sacks that can, kind of affect the game, the QB hits that can affect the game. And so, you can't get mad at that pick for Philly. Philly trying to, go all in. They feel that NFC is kind of wide open. And it's going to be definitely on who gets hot. You feel me? Because as far as experience level, if you take Aaron Rodgers out the fold, say if he don't make it, it's just literally gonna be Tom Brady that has the most experience, and then you might say the second will probably be, Dak and Kurt, and both of them is kind of like, iffy. You feel me? So if you and then Gino Garoppolo as well. So you got Jimmy G, Dak, and Brady. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you got Jimmy G, Brady, Dak, and Kirk Cousins. So you trust Brady the most, but then they got to get the right matchup. You feel me? And so everybody else is definitely gonna be a wild card. So Philly thinking like, yeah, we got as good a shot as any to make a real serious push. So you can't get mad at the team that decides to, what I'm saying, like push all the chips, to the middle of the table. So what I'm saying, I ain't mad at that move at all. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. All right, thanks for listening.